Yes, I had an experience with that. Oh, this is Ramon. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Ramon.
I I had a sort of like I was a little bit confused, but I was wondering that lady Kelsey Brown. I heard one of her little YouTube uh, talks where she goes into, I don't know, she was on in some kind of mission on the astral plane, and she had to keep jumping. She was escaping the reptilian soldiers there, and she kept jumping from body to body uh, to escape them. And but I thought that was kind of like, why does she need to go through that? I didn't understand that if we're if we shine like a thousand suns. So I didn't think I was judging her or criticizing her. I was just making an observation and kind of like, why why does she have to do that in escaping them? So that night I had a dream where the reptilian soldiers were chasing me. And then I thought, and then I sort of like stopped myself and I said, oh, wait a minute, we shine like a thousand suns. So I shine like a thousand suns when the reptilian soldiers were chasing me, and they all dissolved or disappeared. And I extended it all the way to the castle, and I said, and all the way to the supervisor guy is at, and I don't know what happened to him, but I just extended it that far. And I said, yeah, that's the way I think it should be. I don't think we should be afraid of them if we shine like a thousand suns. So I'm just wondering, was that a true experience or was that just my imagination? What happened there? If Val or Duane can answer that. Thank you.
Well, it depends on your body, in the physical body or whatever body she was using or in or level she was in. You just utilize what you have available. So she was just doing what made sense, as far as I see,
Mhm.
to remove herself from their interference. So you just do what makes sense in this situation. You can think certain things, like in the physical, you can think like shining like a sun or something. Cars coming and you have to move out of the road. Still. So it's just, and then Duane saying "be now" is always a good one too. Just be now, in terms of just collecting everything and not being scattered and moving in the future or the past, or just be now and deal with it, and also deal with it if it makes sense.
I have had those dreams of being in warehouses, like Kevin has said, but I'm outside the warehouses, and I see that there's also underground. I could sense that there's underground buildings because there's these pipes for people to breathe and filtering systems. So as I'm walking out the gate, I could see that there's like country area in one area and there's like desert in another area. And I always wondered what's that? Why am I in these? And I could see the buildings; they're all white, but I'm outside the buildings, and I wondered what does that mean? I'm always outside the buildings in the dreams. So now I'm getting a little hint from Kevin that those buildings represent this or that. They look like huge warehouses.
So are you objective with the idea of the buildings being ideas, or?
I never understood what they were. Now that Kevin has mentioned it, now I see what they were. A couple times I'm inside and I'm curious, like, what is this? What are these? Why am I in a building? So I don't see anybody. So I just walk out. I just walk out the building.
Paul used to say, practice getting in and out of things.
Oh, okay.
Remember?
And then one time I woke up and I saw that I was on top of a really high tree that looked like a jungle tree, and everywhere I looked was the jungle. I mean, I was above the jungle at the highest tree that I could be, and there was blue sky and bright, bright sun, and I was wondering, well, what does that mean? And it looked like I was waiting for someone or something to come, but then I lost awareness. But one time I told that to a higher initiate, and he was like shocked that I had that experience. experience. Like, but so now I'm wondering, why was he shocked? I thought he was, because I was trying to him to encourage me to, what does that mean, being at the top of a tree and seeing nothing but jungle all around, and blue sky and bright sun, and feeling like I was waiting for something or someone to come.
One of the things is an interesting experience. It was like I was in a warehouse, like a warehouse. There was all these different rooms, all these little dimensions or life levels, whatever anyone can see them as. And there was all these dogs of various colors, greens, yellows, browns, whites, blues, whatever. Like they're all just there laying down and looking at me and laying down. And so I kind of saw that as the awareness, the real awareness, and all the little parts of myself that, I mean, we've come through so many different embodiments. I'm sure in our subconscious minds, we carry these primal things like fight or flight and all these other silly things that we carry. So it's like all these little parts of myself that have to sort of, for lack of better reference, I'm just going to use the word serve. Like, they have to kind of behave. You have to teach it to be like a real person, not just kind of like personal self, too personal self orientated. And there was this one particular dog. It was a white dog, and someone came from a door on my left, and I instantly recognized it as a test. So I didn't even look at the person on the left as the little white dog started to yap and whine. And I said, just, relax, it's all right, calm down. And so it just sat, and it sat at attention, and that was the part of the experience. And I actually had a following one where it kind of played along with the same concept, in that I was going into a post office getting a passport, and all of a sudden this guy started robbing the place. The scene kind of shifted to black. I recognized it, and then this guy hopped over the counter, started taking money from the thing, and I got this personal self urge, like, well, I'm gonna stop him, like whatever. And then before I could even put my foot forward, I recognized, I was like, I'm not a hero, I'm not some savior, it's not my, like, I don't need to interfere, so I just kind of stood there and I observed it. And so I recognized that as a little test, because it reminded me a lot of Kevin's experience, where the savior ideas and the thieves, regardless how they're aligned, is still cause to effect decisions. It's not in reference to the true reality, so it's just ideas and attitudes. So having to face that part of myself and sort of just sort of figure it out, kind of pass the test there.
Dogs are kind of, they get bored if they don't have something to do. Like here in Mexico, a lot of them just bark at people because they're tied up. They want to do something. They want to participate. Unless you're a working dog or something, they create a working condition for themselves by barking at people when they go by. So your dogs, they're laying around. Cats lay around. They like to lay around, take naps and go into the real side. But dogs are more active. They want to do something. So we help them act as domesticated animals. We help them to do a job, do something of a purpose for themselves. So I don't know, your dogs were laying around there, you say, just different colors.
Yeah, like there was brown ones, blue ones, green ones, white ones, all kinds of different dogs, but they were all sitting in attention, sort of waiting for my direction. None of them moved out of line, and that was kind of the impression that I got. Is not that I was some authority, but these were the little parts of myself, and I was making sure they were all focused. And there was one particular dog that was sort of kind of sitting. He was sitting, laying in attention, but he was kind of yipping and yapping, and the person came from the left-hand side, brought about their own kind of fog, and I didn't look at them, but I could see from my peripheral, so I instantly recognized that kind of like a test, or the way that I perceived it. And so I didn't look at him. I just told the dog, to sort of calm down and relax, sort of not to react.
Yeah, dogs they want to serve. They want to do something. So they're ready to serve, whatever your parts of yourself. Otherwise, they'll make up something, do something kind of, like I say, the barking dogs for no reason. They just bark because they have nothing else to do. So see it as a good thing, a good thing. They're at attention, they're alert, they're paying attention.
I thought it was interesting because the dog that got kind of yippy and yappy was a white dog, and people used the idea, or there is the idea of white and purity, and so the experience that followed was one of where I was put in a position where to make a decision to basically act in a way where people would say, oh, that's noble, you stop a robber, but that's just an idea. So it's kind of interesting that they for reference, one after the other. It's like a heads up. It was real quick. I was just on top of a burgundy spaceship. I was gonna go down into the hatch, but before I could go down into the hatch, I pulled in at the job site, so I had to get up. But it was some burgundy spaceship. I was there with Rebazar, so we were there.
So the color is where you were going, or you're heading to a certain dimension plane, according to the color. Maybe give you a hint.
Could be because at first I thought it was red, but then I noticed, I looked at it a little closer and it was burgundy. It wasn't red, it was burgundy. It's like it's like not even red, it's like a purpley reddish kind of color.